Well, I got up this morning and decided I
I
wanted
really like it.
breakfast.
It's pretty good. So after we left, my dad be stealing them, thinking it's really
Okay, so those are going in the oven.
mushroom.
Yeah, I'm going with
I
mushrooms,
did this one.
tomatoes. I think I put onions. I
The meatless
put
pieces, like your mama.
spinach, meatless pieces. Love these. I love this brand. It's actually fungus. It's not soy. Anyway, so let's go ahead and start trying to dice up this onion. She wanted to play with me. She didn't want to get all the way naked, so I had to toy with her a little bit, but got her where I needed her to be. Chop that up. And I don't know if it's just me or does anyone else just cut off like the little butt piece that kind of keeps it all connected together? So after I chopped this up, there was a little piece that's typically at the end or the butt of the onion. It usually keeps everything, like all the pieces just dangling on together, and I don't like that, so I just snipped that off and like tucked it away to the side. So here's me just cutting the onion, and then see, I took it off. Mushrooms, you're not supposed to wash them, they say, but I kind of like wipe them off and kind of wash them off. I didn't want them to get too soggy, so I just wanted a rough chop on these also. Something simple, big enough for it to still be meaty when you finally eat it, because I was going to put it in the pot, and it's like a Dutch oven kind of pot, so the heat is kind of intense. And these were the tomatoes. This knife I used to love. I have to find my sharpener. This was like my best knife ever, and now it's like so dull unless I use the end of it. Chop that up. Already had my pot on. The pan was on pretty much low heat for about 20 minutes. Then I turned it up a little bit. This is just me adding the onions. I also put grapeseed oil in here. Typically I would do like a olive oil, avocado oil, but grapeseed oil was the closest thing I had, so I went ahead and put that. Malabar Coarse ground black pepper. One of the spices I do sell at Sipsy, and I love it. I have an aversion for ground ground anything. Like, I need to grind it myself. So anything I buy is typically whole or in pieces, and then I grind it. And that's the Sri Lankan paprika. Paprika does have a taste, guys, and don't rush me. I'm stirring shortly. All right, so you get all in there, get in the pot. Anybody else watch videos and it's like that one corner that the person just doesn't touch, and you're like, please wipe that down, please? But I got it. I wonder if you guys saw it. So just keep stirring. I do not add my salt at this stage of the game. I like a lot of color. So I decided to go ahead and cut up a red bell pepper. I actually grow them. This one I did not grow, but I grow them in my backyard, and it is the best feeling to be able to grow your own food. Anyway, I'm just going to dice this up a little bit. Started with long strips, and then I'm going to dice. That is going to go into the pot. I like colorful food, so a lot of times I'll make stuff, and people will say, why did you put that with that color? And I'm a texture person, so textures and colors and everything just does it for me. So typically my food is really, really colorful. So now we're just going to go ahead and slide that on into the pot. Now, mind you, this breakfast started with me just wanting an omelet. Don't ask me how I went from an omelet to this. There's no egg, no anything. I guess this can kind of be considered a vegan recipe. Yeah, definitely vegan, because there's no, well, that I can think of, no animal products in it whatsoever. So that's just me adding the meatless pieces. And really, it tastes like chicken. Almost like a mix between a chicken thigh and a chicken breast. Like, it's not dry. I really like it. I decided to go ahead and add the mushrooms. Again, guys, I do not add my salt early on. The older I get, the more I learn about food. I remember putting some onions on the stove and like with some oil and just like trying to get them to render down to caramelize. And they really wouldn't. It took so long. As soon as I added salt, it just sucked all the moisture out of everything and then caramelized. So I like the actual spices and the peppers and the roots, whatever I'm using, to actually do their own thing. And then after I feel like I got it where I want it, that's when I go in and I decide, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of salt. So here you go. That's the pink Himalayan sea salt. That is also sold at sipsybyru.com. Shameless plug. But again, I typically get everything coarse ground or just whole, and then I grind it myself, or I grind it before I send the orders out. So I covered it up, and now voila, look at it. I was so shocked that that the spinach hadn't wilted down yet, but I just wanted to get in there, make sure nothing was sticking. The meatless pieces were pretty much frozen, so I guess it had a little moisture to give off, so nothing really froze. And it was finally coming together. And the smell alone, people think paprika doesn't have a taste, and it really does. And also the Malabar black pepper, amazing. And then the other peppers and everything else I added. Almost forgot to add the Roma tomatoes, but I went ahead and put that in. And just keep mixing. Keep on mixing. And mix it a little more. And when you get tired, what you gonna do? Keep mixing. So this was the end result. Someone did get a plate of this already, so it looked like nothing. But this is just me setting up my little plate. And the crazy part is, like I said, I started out with just wanting an omelet. It turned into this. Then I wound up juicing a whole bunch of ginger and just did everything else besides eating. So maybe about an hour after I did this, I ate. But when I tell you, it was amazing. Sometimes you have to treat yourself, and it's all about preparation. A lot of times we do not like to prepare, but breakfast was served, boo, and it was amazing. So take your time and make yourself something.